What if I told you that the difference between struggle and success isn't years of hard work, but just the first 7 minutes of your morning? Not luck, not connections, not even talent. 7 minutes that silently decide whether you build wealth or chase it forever. Success rarely begins with big dramatic actions. Instead, it is quietly shaped in the smallest moments, especially at the very start of your day. The idea that winning the first few minutes of your morning can determine the outcome of your entire day may seem simple, but it carries powerful truth. When you wake up, your mind is in its most impressionable state. Whatever you feed it, stress, distraction, purpose, or clarity, sets the emotional and mental direction for everything that follows. Think about what most people do when they wake up. They immediately reach for their phones, scroll through social media, check messages, or worry about the tasks ahead. In those moments, they are not in control, they are reacting. Their mood becomes influenced by external noise, and before they even get out of bed, their focus is scattered. This reactive start often leads to a reactive day filled with distractions, poor decisions, and a constant feeling of being behind. Now imagine a different approach. Instead of giving away your attention, you take ownership of it. In those first few minutes, you pause, you breathe, you become aware of your thoughts, you remind yourself of your goals and what truly matters. This simple shift creates a sense of control and direction. When your mind is calm and focused, you are more likely to make thoughtful decisions rather than impulsive ones. Winning the start of your day is not about doing something complicated or time-consuming. It is about being intentional. It could be as simple as practicing gratitude, reflecting on your priorities, or mentally preparing for the challenges ahead. These actions may seem small, but they build a foundation of clarity and confidence. When you begin your day with purpose, you carry that energy into your work, your interactions, and your decisions. The impact of this practice becomes even more powerful over time. Each day you start with intention. You reinforce a habit of discipline and self-control. You train your mind to focus on what matters instead of what distracts. Gradually, this consistency transforms the way you approach not just your mornings, but your entire life. You become less reactive and more proactive. You stop chasing your day and start leading it. There is also a psychological advantage to this approach. When you feel like you have already taken control of your morning, you experience a sense of accomplishment early in the day. This creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence, and confidence improves performance. As a result, you are more productive, more focused, and better equipped to handle challenges. It is important to understand that success is not the result of one perfect day. It is the result of many small, consistent wins. The first few minutes of your morning offer you a daily opportunity to create one of those wins. When you consistently take advantage of that opportunity, the results compound over time. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and eventually you begin to see significant changes in your productivity, mindset, and achievements. In the end, winning your day is not about controlling every moment. It is about starting strong. When you take charge of the beginning, you influence everything that follows. A focused morning leads to a focused day, and a focused day leads to meaningful progress. By simply choosing to be intentional in those first few minutes, you set yourself on a path where success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Every day begins with a silent battle for your attention. The moment you wake up, there are countless forces ready to take control of your mind: notifications, messages, social media, worries, and responsibilities. If you allow these external influences to take over immediately, you begin your day in a reactive state. Instead of thinking clearly and acting with purpose, you become driven by urgency, distraction, and emotional impulses. This is why controlling your mind before the world does is not just a good habit, it is a critical skill for anyone who wants to succeed. When you wake up, your mind is fresh, calm, and highly receptive. It has not yet been flooded with information or stress. This makes it the most powerful time to shape your thinking. If you use these early moments wisely, you can set a clear direction for your thoughts, emotions, and actions. But if you waste them by diving straight into external noise, you lose that advantage, and your day becomes harder to manage. Controlling your mind begins with awareness. Instead of immediately reacting, you pause and observe your thoughts. You choose not to let random worries or distractions dictate your mood. This small act of awareness creates a gap between stimulus and response, giving you the power to decide how you want to feel and think. It allows you to shift from being controlled by your environment to being in control of yourself. One of the most effective ways to take control of your mind is through intentional thinking. This means consciously focusing on thoughts that serve you rather than harm you. For example, starting your day with gratitude can instantly change your emotional state. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, you create a sense of positivity and stability. This mindset helps you approach challenges with confidence instead of fear. Another important aspect is clarity. When your mind is cluttered with random thoughts and distractions, it becomes difficult to focus on what truly matters. By taking a few moments in the morning to think about your priorities, you bring order to your dhihn. You remind yourself of your goals and what you want to achieve. This clarity acts like a compass, guiding your decisions throughout the day. Emotional control also plays a major role in this process. Many people allow their emotions to be shaped by external events, bad news, negative messages, or unexpected problems. But when you start your day by grounding yourself, you build emotional resilience. You become less reactive and more stable. This does not mean you ignore challenges. It means you face them with a calm and focused mindset. It is important to understand that the world is always competing for your attention. Companies design apps and platforms specifically to capture and hold your focus. If you are not intentional, you will automatically fall into these traps. This is why protecting your mind in the early hours is so powerful. It is a way of setting boundaries and deciding that your attention is valuable. Over time, this practice transforms the way you live. You become more disciplined, more focused, and more aware of your thoughts. Instead of being pulled in different directions, you move with purpose. Your decisions improve because they are based on clarity rather than confusion. Your productivity increases because your energy is not wasted on unnecessary distractions. Ultimately, controlling your mind before the world does is about taking ownership of your life. It is about recognizing that your thoughts shape your reality. When you take charge of them from the very beginning of your day, you create a strong foundation for success. You stop reacting to life and start directing it, and that shift makes all the difference. Wealth is often associated with money, assets, and financial success, but at its core, it is built on something far less visible: clarity. Without clarity, even the hardest work can lead to confusion, wasted effort, and missed opportunities. Many people struggle not because they lack talent or motivation, but because they lack a clear sense of direction. When you do not know exactly what you are working toward, your energy becomes scattered, and your decisions lose their effectiveness. Clarity begins with understanding what truly matters. Every day presents countless choices, from how you spend your time to how you respond to challenges. Without clear priorities, it is easy to become overwhelmed or distracted by tasks that do not contribute to your long-term goals. However, when you take the time to define what is important, you create a filter for your decisions. This filter helps you focus on actions that move you forward and ignore those that do not. In the early moments of your day, your mind is in the perfect state to create this clarity. It is quiet, undisturbed, and open. By using this time to reflect on your goals and priorities, you set a clear intention for the day. This intention acts as a roadmap, guiding your actions and helping you stay aligned with your purpose. Instead of reacting to whatever comes your way, you move with direction and confidence. Clarity also improves the quality of your decisions. Every decision you make has a consequence, and over time, these consequences shape your results. When your mind is cluttered or unfocused, you are more likely to make impulsive or emotional decisions. These decisions may provide short-term relief, but they often lead to long-term setbacks. On the other hand, when your thinking is clear, you are able to evaluate situations more logically and choose actions that support your goals. Another important aspect of clarity is its impact on productivity. Many people confuse being busy with being productive. They fill their day with tasks, meetings, and activities, but at the end of the day, they feel like they have accomplished very little. This happens because their efforts are not aligned with a clear objective. When you have clarity, you know exactly what needs to be done, and you can focus your energy on high-value tasks. This not only increases your efficiency, but also ensures that your efforts produce meaningful results. Clarity also reduces stress and uncertainty. When you are unsure about your direction, even small decisions can feel overwhelming. You may second-guess yourself or worry about making the wrong choice. However, when you have a clear vision, you gain confidence in your actions. You understand why you are doing what you are doing, and this sense of purpose makes challenges easier to handle. Instead of feeling lost, you feel grounded and in control. Over time, the power of clarity compounds. Each clear decision builds upon the last, creating a chain of positive outcomes. Small focused actions lead to consistent progress, and consistent progress leads to significant achievements. This is how wealth is truly built, not through random effort, but through deliberate and well-directed action. It is important to remember that clarity is not something you achieve once and keep forever. It requires continuous effort and reflection. Life changes, goals evolve, and new challenges arise. By regularly taking time to reconnect with your priorities, especially at the start of your day, you maintain a strong sense of direction. It ensures that your time, energy, and resources are used wisely. When you think clearly, you act effectively, and when you act effectively, you move closer to your goals. This is why clarity is not just helpful, it is essential. It is the foundation upon which wealth, success, and meaningful achievement are built. In today's world, distraction is not accidental, it is designed. Every notification, every message, every app is competing for your attention. The modern environment makes it incredibly easy to lose focus and incredibly difficult to stay disciplined. This is why the principle of discipline over distraction is so powerful. It is not just about avoiding interruptions. It is about making a conscious decision to protect your time, energy, and attention from anything that does not serve your purpose. Most people begin their day by surrendering to distraction. The moment they wake up, they check their phones, scroll through social media, respond to messages, and consume information that has no real value to their goals. This habit may feel harmless, but it sets a dangerous tone. It trains the mind to seek constant stimulation and instant gratification. As a result, focus becomes weaker, patience decreases, and productivity suffers. Discipline, on the other hand, is about taking control. It is the ability to choose what deserves your attention and what does not. It requires effort, especially in the beginning, because distraction is always easier. Distraction provides quick pleasure with no effort, while discipline requires intention and consistency. But the long-term rewards of discipline are far greater than the short-term comfort of distraction. When you choose discipline in the first moments of your day, you send a powerful message to yourself that your goals matter more than temporary entertainment. Instead of reacting to notifications, you focus on what you need to do. Instead of letting your attention be pulled in different directions, you direct it with purpose. This simple shift creates a sense of control and stability that carries throughout the day. One of the key benefits of discipline is improved focus. When you train your mind to resist distractions, you strengthen your ability to concentrate on important tasks. This deep focus allows you to work more efficiently and produce higher quality results. Tasks that once took hours can be completed in less time because your attention is fully engaged. Over time, this ability becomes a significant advantage, especially in a world where most people struggle to maintain focus. Discipline also helps you build consistency. Success is rarely the result of a single action. It is the result of repeated efforts over time. When you are easily distracted, it becomes difficult to maintain this consistency. You may start strong, but interruptions and distractions break your momentum. However, when you prioritize discipline, you create a routine that supports steady progress. Each day, you take small steps forward, and those steps add up to meaningful results. Another important aspect is self-respect. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you reinforce a positive self-image. You prove to yourself that you are capable of staying focused and committed. This builds confidence and strengthens your sense of control. On the other hand, constantly giving in to distractions can lead to frustration and a lack of trust in your own abilities. It is also important to recognize that discipline is not about eliminating all forms of relaxation or enjoyment. It is about timing and control. There is nothing wrong with taking breaks or enjoying entertainment, but these activities should not come at the cost of your priorities. When you manage your time effectively, you can create space for both productivity and relaxation without sacrificing either. Over time, choosing discipline becomes easier. What once required effort becomes a habit. Your mind becomes less attracted to distractions and more focused on meaningful work. This transformation does not happen overnight, but with consistent practice, it becomes a natural part of your behavior. In the end, the battle between discipline and distraction is a daily one. Each morning gives you a new opportunity to choose how you will spend your attention. When you consistently choose discipline, you take control of your day, your actions, and ultimately, your future. It is this ability to stay focused in a distracted world that separates those who achieve their goals from those who remain stuck chasing them. It is easy to underestimate the power of small actions. Many people believe that success requires big moves, dramatic changes, or sudden breakthroughs. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or a surge of motivation to transform their lives. But in reality, lasting success is not built on rare, extraordinary efforts. It is built on small, consistent habits that are repeated day after day. These habits may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they create results that are anything but small. Every action you take, no matter how minor it seems, contributes to a larger pattern. When you repeat a behavior daily, it becomes a habit, and habits shape your outcomes. For example, spending just a few minutes each morning planning your day may not feel like a major achievement. However, doing it consistently helps you stay organized, focused, and intentional. Over weeks and months, this clarity leads to better decisions, improved productivity, and meaningful progress toward your goals. The reason small habits are so powerful lies in their ability to compound. Just like money grows through compound interest, your actions accumulate and multiply over time. A single positive habit may not produce immediate results, but when practiced consistently, it creates momentum. This momentum makes it easier to maintain the habit and build new ones on top of it. Eventually, these small actions combine to produce outcomes that seem extraordinary to others. One of the biggest advantages of small habits is that they are manageable. Large goals can feel overwhelming, which often leads to procrastination or burnout. When a task feels too big, it is easy to avoid it altogether, but small habits remove that barrier. They require less effort, less time, and less motivation to get started. This makes it easier to stay consistent, even on days when you do not feel your best. Consistency, not intensity, is what drives long-term success. Another important aspect is that small habits shape your identity. Every time you perform a positive action, you reinforce the belief that you are disciplined, focused, and committed. For example, if you spend a few minutes each morning reflecting on your goals, you begin to see yourself as someone who is purposeful and driven. This shift in identity is powerful because it influences your future behavior. When you believe you are a certain kind of person, you are more likely to act in ways that align with that belief. Small habits also reduce the pressure to be perfect. Many people fail because they set unrealistic expectations for themselves. They try to change everything at once, and when they cannot maintain that level of effort, they give up. Small habits allow for gradual improvement. They give you the flexibility to grow at a sustainable pace. Even if you make mistakes or miss a day, it is easier to get back on track because the habit itself is simple and achievable. Over time, the results of these habits become visible. What started as a few minutes of effort each day turns into significant progress. Your mindset improves, your skills develop, and your productivity increases. Others may look at your success and assume it happened quickly, but they do not see the consistent effort behind it. They do not see the small choices you made every day that led to that outcome. It is also important to recognize that small habits work both ways. Just as positive habits lead to growth, negative habits can lead to decline. Small distractions, small delays, and small compromises may not seem harmful, but when repeated over time, they can hold you back. This is why being mindful of your daily actions is so important. Every choice matters, and every habit shapes your future. In the end, success is not about doing something extraordinary once, it is about doing the right things consistently. Small habits may not feel powerful in the moment, but they are the foundation of lasting results. When you commit to simple positive actions every day, you create a system that naturally leads to growth, achievement, and success.